by alone inside. He's got the breakaway with the touch to the right. Goal! Everything you wanted from this debut. It's branded by. Taking a shot with the left. Goal! Isaac Frank from 25 yards out. The equalizer. Will Kidd with the touch of the goal. It's a go-ahead goal. Minneapolis City.
This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City Soccer Club, brought to you by Summit Brewing Company.
All right, citizens, form feet and legs, form arms and body, and we'll form the head. This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City SC. I am Nate, that is John, and we are this city's soccer Voltron, here to fuck some shit up. John, are you a Voltron guy?
Nate, if you know me at all, I am not a Voltron guy. I don't even know why you even asked that question. I had to Google search what Voltron meant.
You didn't grow up watching some Voltron. Oh.
No, man. I was playing soccer.
We have a hell of a show tonight. I am excited. Let's get right to it. First, we've got news about two city players whose names are Miles. The NASL looks just about donezo, and John is going to have some thoughts on that, I bet. And we're gonna be joined from our current northernmost Minneapolis City collegiate player, Kevin Hoof, to talk a little bit about the article that he's written and his experiences with both Minneapolis City and Stegman's and at school at Northern Michigan. Let's do this.
So, Nate, you mentioned that we have some news on the Mileses of the city household of the house city. So first off, we'll talk about Miles Stockman Willis. Nate, you knew Trey got the opportunity out of the MPSL showcase, but Miles also went down there as well and scored a rare for that environment goal, knowing that it was mostly games were decided in penalties or they were decided, in one goal games. But Miles scored a very crucial goal with his side, and it was only a matter of time before some doors opened for him. So what is going on with Miles? Miles has been invited to participate in the Bridges Academy down in Chicago, Illinois. And what the Bridges Academy is, Nate, is a high-level training ground for players that have what it takes and have the desire to play at the next level. So what they do is they bring players in, they house them, they train them, they feed them, they bathe them.
Like by hand?
Probably by sponge, I'm guessing. And then they tour them both domestically and overseas in an effort to get them a pro contract. So basically they provide them exposure. So former USOC standout Abai Habat, if you remember that name, he went down to Bridges after our Open Cup run against Oakland City last year and was eventually picked up by a third division team in Sweden after an extensive trial. Well, Miles was informed that he will also be following in the footsteps of Abai, and it was chosen to participate in an extended trial / showcase in Sweden in March that will offer him the opportunity to face some teams looking for players as a academy that Bridges is, that will be playing against other teams in Sweden in kind of trial training matches. Okay. So if all goes well, much like with what happened with Trey, we will not be seeing him this summer, and he will be swimming in a sea of blonde hair and blue eyes playing soccer. But once we have more details on
not much different than here.
Yeah, not much different than here. Less, what was it? Lefsa and Ludafisk.
Yeah.
Or more, who knows?
Probably
but once we have more details on the team names that he'll be playing against, that he could potentially be signed by, and the progress of what he's going through, we will certainly bring that to you. But we want to give you a quick update.
What comes? I'm not quite clear on this. Is it that he's going to go down with and join Bridges Academy in Chicago first and get acclimated there, and then he's already slotted to go to Sweden, or is it like, we're just going to send a bunch of dudes to Sweden under the name Bridges Academy, and then if he makes it or if he doesn't make it, he'll come back and be in Chicago?
Well, you're almost 100% spot on. He actually has been training in and out of Bridges since the showcase.
Oh, okay.
So and also playing with us. So he's had the opportunity to already be down there, and he was just selected as in the group that is going to be going to Sweden.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Yep.
So something is going on in Sweden, though. This isn't a bad opportunity. Like, there are a lot of teams that are in Sweden taking soccer very, very seriously now. Like, I was just reading about what Arsenal played Östersunds FK, and they're from like way the fuck up north in Sweden. And even though they got beat, like, their story is one of like this amazing climb to the Allsvenskan, like Sweden's first league. And their drive to get to the top is not uncommon. Like, they were just third tier maybe like 6-7 years ago or something like that.
Yep. So, I mean, he has the opportunity to latch on with a team in a lower tier that could potentially, could make the climb.
That's very, very cool. So let's talk about new Miles now. Followers of the club on Twitter, you might have seen an announcement this week that we have signed center back Miles Norville, a.k.a. New Miles, a.k.a. Upgrade, which is not an upgrade over the old Miles. It's just his nickname. I don't get why. But it sounds like it's like a huge
why does
bird
anyone
on
ever
old
get a
Miles.
nickname?
So if you traveled with us to Aurora or Rochester for the U.S. Open Cup matches, you might have had the chance to see him in action. But if not, you are probably wondering who this guy is. So Miles Norville is a product of Shattuck St. Mary's, just like Trey Benhart. But Miles is from Barbados originally, which is pretty cool. But he's a Luther College grad. He has moved up to Minneapolis full time. And at Luther, Miles was pretty standout. He was at the end of his campaign ended up being named the IIAC Defensive MVP. He earned all conference honors in 2015 and 2016, and all North regional honors within their division. So I was particularly impressed when I saw him with Miles' ability to get up on set pieces. He's a real danger in the air. And when he's paired with Trey and Max, I had kind of tweeted this out today, the back line suddenly becomes super imposing. They're all three huge dudes, all three very good, and very, very much so lockdown center backs, and I'm excited to have him on the team. What are you excited for, John?
Well, I mean, basically, here's how he came to the fold. So last summer season, Miles played with our friends in Iowa, the Des Moines Menace.
Yes, that's right.
And I get a phone call from Trey, and Trey, being as outgoing as ever, just said, "Hey, I got a guy for the Open Cup. Can he come to tryouts?" And I was like, "Yes," sure, whatever you say, man. You don't say much, so yes, he must be good. So Miles and Trey actually paired together when they were at Shattuck. So they go back to their high school days together. And he showed up, and I'm like, all right, this guy, he's like 9 feet tall, and okay, let's see how he can do when the ball hits his feet. And much like Trey, very composed center back, never rattled, very good in the air, defensively, always a step ahead of a forward. And super excited when he joined with us, and then he immediately slotted into the back line for us in the Open Cup, and we were super glad to have him. And for our division being as kind of physical as it is, I think the addition of him is huge, because we not only have now a statistical advantage on set pieces or corner kicks in the air, we also have someone who can kind of suffocate that long ball that comes through a lot of times in our division, instead of kind of the building out of the back. So super, super excited to have him. Great guy, and a really good addition, like I said, personally and on the field for the club.
Yes. Can't wait to see who else you've got in the pipeline, John. But Miles is less of a surprise, but still very, very exciting. So, John, did you happen to catch the big NASL news today? It'd be hard not to, but I knew you were in a lot of meetings today. It seems as if the loss of its D2 status and all the disorganization, money issues, and near complete lack of teams has finally caught up to the NASL, and they will be canceling their 2018 season. The Jacksonville Armada, Miami FC, and the Cosmos plan on, I guess, dropping down to the NPSL somehow. But the other three teams, 1904, Cal United, and Puerto Rico, are kind of in limbo for now. I'm sure you've got some thoughts on this move. Is this enough to fire off an old granddad rant?
Nate, I mean, it's pretty close, Nate. It's been a long day. I like you said, I was in meetings all day and I'm a little tired, but I'm always up for a good soccer debate. So where do I really start? Do I start with how disappointed I am, being that I'm a sucker for soccer history, or do I start with how angry I am about how things went down?
Let's start with the disappointment, John.
Always start with the negative. Well, okay. So here's why I'm sad about this whole thing. The NASL is basically the grandfather of professional soccer in the United States. And this situation is one that I can only equate to putting a grandparent in a nursing home and just kind of counting down the days until the end. And, that may sound totally morbid, but the recent news is totally a lack of disrespect for a league that started everything. And for those of you who don't really know about the NASL started in 1968. Here comes your history lesson, folks.
Okay.
I'm always good for one. So the NASL started in 1968 and forming with a merger of two kind of in quotation marks pro leagues, the USA, which was the United Soccer Association, and then the NPSL, which has no affiliation to us. It was the National Professional Soccer League. And then being rebooted in the modern era under the same name with no real official affiliation to the original league. But at the peak, the league hit really in the early 70s. And what I mean by that is it had an influx of like world-class talent. Like some might say the biggest collection of world-class talent to come to the United States ever. And that includes the modern day. So we're talking stars like Pele.
Yeah, I know Pele played for the Cosmos, right?
Yep. Franz Beckenbauer, George Best, Johan Cruyff, Carlos Alberto, Eusebio, Gerd Muller, Bobby Moore, Jeff Hurst, and the list goes on and on. These are big fucking stars, Nate, and they came here when they were not searching for like a soccer 401k plan, like
some of the guys now.
Yeah, like like Steven Gerrard coming to the United States was just a fucking waste of time, right? Like the guy didn't do really anything besides collect a check for the LA Galaxy. So that wasn't the case. These guys were coming to at the height of their soccer careers to play in the United States. And that's awesome. So the only thing that really killed that league, which eventually folded in 1984 before it was revived again like I mentioned in the modern era, was the loss of the 1986 World Cup bid to Mexico. So as we know with World Cup bids, it's not necessarily by country, it's by federation. And then within the federations, the countries are nominated. Well, Mexico beat the United States out for that World Cup. And it really kind of spelled the end of the soccer momentum. I mean, it would have been absolutely astronomical for the game if we would have gotten the World Cup with that momentum. I think we would have absolutely we would not be talking about some of the same situations that we're talking about now in United States soccer if that would have happened. So at the height of the NASL in the 70s, when soccer was literally a fart in the wind beforehand on the sports fans' radar, there were upwards of 50 to 60 to 70,000 fans that would attend these games. And that's huge, right? Like we do not see that in the modern age. So not getting that World Cup really killed momentum and the money dried up and the players left. And as we know, Nate, when there's no talent, there's no fans, and there's no cash to support the game, it ends. So to see something like this happen again to that league that carried the soccer torch in the shadow of the Major League Soccer in the modern era, giving fans an alternative to not supporting the man, it really makes me sad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of one of those things. I can understand the greatest regret here is like, what if the World Cup and all of its fanfare and all of its amazing players came to the U.S. in 1986, like you're capturing, you're holding on to the interest that you've kind of been slowly building, right? And it's all of a sudden exploding, and you're hoping to kind of ride that wave into the 90s.
It would have been a huge wave. And so the whole entire process was retarded until 1996 after the success.
Right. No.
After the success of the 94 World Cup. So we lost a decade of momentum because of that.
It's amazing to me that that's the kind of thing that like the U.S. needed. That would have been the kind of thing that the U.S. needed. It's almost as if like we wouldn't have given a shit about the Olympics until we had it here once. But that's just the way it worked.
Right, exactly. So let's fast forward to today. And this is where I get pissed off. This is the other side of the coin for me. So I went from sad to now I'm angry. The situation to me seems like a total dick measuring contest or a spiteful situation where someone said something to someone or did something to someone or an event transpired that was the crux of the league failing. Or, Nate, it is a direct result of the fact that we already know that the MLS is deep in bed just scissoring the shit out of U.S. soccer. And because the USL has an affiliation with the MLS, it was granted Division II status for the mere purpose of trying to make it look like there's a reserve system that's fully established.
Yep.
And at play here, giving the false hope there's something that could, in the very smallest fashion, resemble Pro Rel, which we know is not going to happen. So
right.
Here is how shit the system is. Last September, United States Soccer Federation voted and denied giving NASL a Division II designation because it did not meet the standards set by USSF for what constitutes a second-tier league. The standards included a minimum number of teams and how those teams are distributed geographically. I mean, that is total shit, Nate. The reason for all of this is because MLS came in and raped that league of their teams for expansion purposes. And through outliers that had financial problems going on organizationally, they dropped down to lower leagues like ours, which is fine. So for that, they were punished instead of the MLS affiliating with what league currently existed and providing an influx of cash to help support that. And then really not having to reestablish something different. So no, we decided to go fuck the shit out of the fuck the shit out of the NASL and let the USL leap over them to form a new second division. Why do we have to do something new? Why couldn't we keep it the same? This could have all been fixed if the system were not so garbage and dumps more gas onto the fire for me. God damn it, Nate. I'm so angry now. I guess this was enough for an old granddad rant. I mean, please tell me that my anger is warranted so I don't ruin the rest of the show.
It totally is. I think we talked about this with Fletcher. We touched on this a little bit with Nordo last week, but really it's like the MLS and their stranglehold on, or what they're trying to put this stranglehold on soccer in America is not good for the sport here. It's just not good for the development of the sport. And that's sad that the NASL and like a league like with the history of the NASL is the first casualty of that. But I think where we fight against it, John, is at the lower levels like we're at. I think keeping people's interest in their local soccer, keeping people coming to these kind of games is really how we go up against the juggernaut of money and bedfellows that is the MLS.
So much scissors, so much scissoring. Just so angry. I don't know what else to say, Nate. I'm just I read into this and I was like, I read the article that most soccer fans read and I was like, okay. And then I started diving deeper into the internet and I just got so mad because it's like, why is this happening again? Like, why are we fighting and creating new problems? We don't have to. And it's just a sign of what the times are. And I don't know what's going to change, but it's probably not going to change anytime soon. So might as well fucking get used to it.
Yeah, man. Let's just enjoy the party that we can make.
Yeah. Party hard. We are blessed tonight to have a member of the murder on with us, be it short notice, but definitely someone we hold close to our hearts, the Kevin Hoof. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us tonight. For those of you who don't know Kevin, he is a bit of a unique person within the club, being that he started with us as a youngster, but also given valuable playing time with our MASL affiliate Stegman's Soccer Club 77s. If you've been following along the internet, we've been posting player-written articles, and he has penned out a very moving piece about his development with us over the past 2 years and how being part of both City and Stegman's has given him growth as a player. So without further ado, Kevin, welcome back to the show again. How are you doing, man?
Doing great. Just finishing up some organic chemistry. Thank God it's over with, but
Yeah, I shouldn't be too apologetic that we had to interrupt your studies for talking about soccer.
No worries. You kind of saved me, honestly.
Awesome. We really appreciate it, and we're happy to have you back on the show. So, in your forthcoming article, you talk about the very positive but very different experiences you've had playing with Stegmans and City. What were some of those differences?
I'd say some of the key differences with Stegmans and Minneapolis City is kind of the attitude going into it. Stegmans, obviously, we want to win. Minneapolis City, obviously, we want to win, but Stegmans is more kind of laid back. We want to play just some fun soccer, kick the ball around, enjoy our time. City, obviously, we want to do the same thing, but it's a little more serious. It's a week-to-week kind of thing where if you're going to be on the roster or not, so you kind of got to be more into it, be more serious. And, I mean, at that level, we're semi-professional. Playing the NPSL, obviously, we want to win the conference, so it's a bigger deal to win, I'd say. So kind of the attitude towards winning and stressing who's going to be playing week by week, who's playing the best, whatnot. I'd say that's a huge difference between the two.
You're saying it's a little more serious all week long. Like, not only do you have to focus at training, you have to make sure you're giving it your all during those days, and then still hope that you're going to be named to the roster, and then approach the game also very seriously.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at Stegmans, you can have a beer at halftime if you want.
I think you can have a beer at halftime at City. It's just you probably don't.
Yeah, it's probably a little frowned upon.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were trying to play, probably not the greatest idea.
Right.
Right.
But yeah.
So one of the things that I saw in your article that's going to be coming out this week is you talked about how your experience with Stegmans helps you on the field with City. What do all those minutes and touches do for you when it's time to suit up against the NPSL North?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, when I'm with Minneapolis City, I'm training with City. The pace is just extremely fast, so you got to be thinking a lot quicker. Maybe at times I'm struggling in practice because I'm not seeing things right away, but the other guys are telling me, hey, next time this comes around, try this, or pick your head up here and maybe open up your body and switch it instead of keeping it on this side of the field. And during Stegmans, the pace of play slows down a little bit. So it's easier for me to see these situations, and now I can recognize them easier. And so then when I'm seeing it in Stegmans and I'm trying these new things that these older guys and more experienced guys are telling me, then I can take it back to City and apply it in a faster pace sense. So I can now see it. I understand what's going on. I understand what makes the game easier for me. And so then I can apply it with City and then improve my game there.
Yeah, so that transition back to Stegmans from City definitely makes the game at the MASL level look totally different than it did a year ago for you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
I mean, is it true what they say, like everything slows down, like you're able to process things, like it's taking place in a normal time, but you're able to process it so much quicker it kind of, the game slows down for you?
Oh, definitely. For sure. I mean, it's hard to explain. It's just kind of one of those things as a player, you just kind of feel it.
Yeah.
You kind of, everything just kind of clicks quicker and you feel like the game is slower, or you're just doing things and you're thinking faster than the other players around you or just in the game in general.
So some people say in soccer that there's a major issue with playing too much, which I think is utter horseshit. I'm a proponent of like always noodling with the ball whenever you have a chance, whether it be structured or unstructured. But this is a concept of overloading and underloading of players. Do you feel you have a perspective on how maybe training twice a week with City and then playing 2 games a week with City and then a full 90 with Stegmans, how that affects you as a player? Is that too much soccer?
I wouldn't say it's too much soccer. At times it can be, just because it can be hard on your body, and maybe you'll pick up an injury, just like a slight hamstring pull or something, just from overuse with your body. But really, I don't struggle too much with it. Maybe for the older guys it is, but at my age, being younger and whatnot, I can recover quicker, so it's easier. But honestly, playing that much soccer, you're just getting so many repetitions, and you're just having so many first touches. You can clean up your touch. You can kind of take those tight touches, and there's just so many different repetitions in different aspects of the game that helps improve you as well. And so it just kind of becomes second nature, just muscle memory at that point when you're just doing it so much that you can start focusing on other parts of your game. So
are there aspects of your game that you have been focusing on, or that you plan on focusing on improving?
What are they?
Yeah, are there ones in that you're kind of thinking like, this is the next thing I want to work on and over the summer, or when I go from segments to city and city to segments?
Oh, for sure. I'm always looking to improve, Nate. But, I'd say one of the big things for me always has been just wanting to my individual 1v1 defending situations, and knowing when to step versus when to be patient and just kind of let them dribble at you so you can just take the ball and kind of bring them to an area. I feel like that's always something that I've wanted to get better at. I don't know if you've noticed, AO is, in my opinion, one of the best at Minneapolis City in recognizing those situations. Most of the time when he steps to the ball, he tackles and he gets the ball pretty much every other time. Maybe he'll miss one every once in a while. He'll have a bad step, but pretty much that guy's solid in knowing when to step and when to be patient. So that's something for sure for me that I want to improve. Otherwise, just, the usual things, just playing quicker, recognizing things before you get the ball, finding the spaces, being able to play in tight spaces, I think is another thing for me.
Yeah. I think knowing what to do with it when you get it is also something that helps in this situation with you playing, in a different environment and then going to a more pressure cooker environment, because, you usually more times than not, you're playing in the back line, and 9 times out of 10, you're getting a forward or a winger who's kind of breathing down your neck and wanting to create the turnover in a stressful environment for the defense. And I think that, being able to get, like you said, that muscle memory and that recognition in a little bit more of a relaxed environment, it helps when you get the ball as well as when you don't have it.
Yeah, for sure.
So back to, is it too much soccer? Is it that much more soccer than during your season at Northern Michigan? You guys are probably practicing 2-3 times a week there. You only play one game probably, but isn't being involved in a collegiate soccer program kind of a lot more work?
Yeah, the college season is definitely more work than the summers, just because, well, for me at least, we're playing Friday and Sunday because we're so far away from everyone. We have to travel so far, and we don't have a travel partner in our league.
Yeah.
So we have to play Friday, travel, play Sunday, and then maybe have Monday off. Most of the times it's a recovery session, and then you're back training Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, traveling, game, doing that week after week. And so it's definitely more soccer, I'd say, in the collegiate season. And the collegiate season is just so short that they have to pack in all these games in such a short period that there's not a lot of downtime, not a lot of recovery.
Right. So I kind of want to talk about overloading and underloading in a different context, specifically, I guess, in the value of playing up or playing down, kind of like you have been doing between Stegman's and City. When you play up to City, we'll call it, you're learning, right? And you're, like you said, you're observing, you're talking to guys, you're trying to kind of figure out ways you can improve your game, and then you're taking what you've learned, and you've said you're able to experiment and practice things when the game is slower for you. That's, I think, a really a valuable model. Do you feel like you've had that opportunity to learn in that way in the past, and is it effective for you now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say with City and Stegman's, this is the most I've done that throughout my life, because really otherwise it's been training with my club team and then maybe guest playing with one of my friends teams, which is like C2 soccer.
Yeah, so that's
it's a
just
lower
like
level, but
showing up
yeah.
and goofing around.
Yeah, for sure. But even still, this is just a higher level, so it's a little different. But even my senior or junior year of high school, I was playing with Twin Stars actually, in their NPSL team, and I'd practice with them. I didn't play much in the games just because I was young and the older players were much better than me at that time. But then I'd go back to my club team, and that was definitely a lower pace of play, slower and whatnot. So I was able to kind of apply things there when I would learn it with Twin Stars as well. So I have before, but with City and Stegmans, this is pretty much the most I've done it, I'd say.
Do you ever decide, like, I'm going to try something fucking crazy this game?
I'm going to go rogue.
No, I mean, like I'm going to go for, like, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to pop a rainbow on someone just to see if I can do it. Or something like that.
Stegmans for sure. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen AO in Stegmans, but that guy does it every game. He, we'll call it the one run for AO every game. The guy just starts from center back and literally just dribbles down the entire field.
Just decides, like, I'm going to showboat right now.
He just decides to go. He says, I'm going for it. And he just takes off. Somebody drops in for him, and we just let him go. But I definitely have situations like that where, you know, maybe I do a 1-2 down the line. I'm just like, screw it. I'm just going the whole way. I'm gonna try to score.
And then you call for a sub because you're completely gassed because you got too high up the field.
Yeah, then I'm calling for someone to cover for me because I'm just gassed. I need 5 minutes to get back.
So now let's talk about how all this helps. Like when you go back to school or when you're in school at Northern Michigan. Like you were named the captain last year, your sophomore year, and did you repeat as captain this year?
Yes, sir.
And so that puts a lot of leadership responsibility on your little young baby shoulders. Like what have you learned playing with Stegmans and of course with Minneapolis City that's really helped you be successful in the captain's role? I mean, beyond skills and things like that, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are offering leadership advice or at least leading by example. What do you bring back to college to become to be a good leader?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton. I'm always observing the older experienced guys like Brian Coleman and Martin as well. I mean, we got a lot of natural born leaders, I feel like, on the city team, which keeps the level high. And maybe there's some clashes every once in a while because everyone has that attitude. But, you know, I feel like I bring back one thing is I see the older experienced guys will always be giving information to the younger guys on how they can be better and not necessarily just getting in their faces and screaming and saying, hey, you need to do this shit better next time or whatever. Maybe saying, hey, instead of doing this and losing the ball like you just did, maybe you try doing this next time and you'll probably have more success or you'll probably create something out of it. You know, and always giving information to the young guys and telling them how they can improve and what they can do for the team. That positive attitude, bringing a positive atmosphere to the team is something huge. I feel like I've learned from the older guys as well.
Awesome.
I mean, yeah, there's a ton, but I'd say that's one of the main things I bring back.
Well, why don't we put a bow on things? What are your expectations for this summer, given your participation in both teams? Do you have separate goals for each, or are they kind of a collective goal or set of goals that you have personally?
I mean, obviously, I want to do well in both, but you know, Stegmans, we're going for that 3-peat.
Yes, we are.
Number 1 3-peat. I think we can do it. So that's definitely a goal. City, some goals. I think we can get number 1 in conference for sure. You know, we have so much talent, and we have good coaching staff. We got a lot of people who care. We got a lot of support from fans and everything. The fans deserve it. The coaches deserve it from us as players, and I think we can bring a trophy home for everyone.
Yeah.
Individually,
You gotta believe.
I would like. Gotta believe. Man. You gotta believe.
I'll take a title.
Yeah, I'd love one. Individually, I'd say I want to play more, get more involved with the team, and make more of an impact. Maybe do a little more offensively for the team as well, so I can be a little more dynamic instead of holding down the fort, hoofing people. Maybe maybe get in the attack, get some assists, maybe score a goal, maybe get my first Minneapolis City goal this year. That'd be sweet.
Hey, right now, you and I are both on level with career city goals.
That's true. I don't know if I like that.
It's not comforting, John.
I mean, if I were in shape and young enough to be able to participate, I'd play just as hard as you do, Kevin.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, we'll put a bow on things. That is all for tonight's show. Thank you so much, Kevin, for pausing your schoolwork to join us this week. And thanks, as always, to our sponsor, Summit Brewing. It almost feels like there's a new Summit release out every week. So get to the tap room or your local bar or your liquor store and try something new. Don't be a dummy. Memberships for 2018 are so much damn bang for your buck. Do you have yours yet? If not, go get signed up. $60 gets you a cool season pass to all upcoming city matches this summer, the NPSL and U23 matches, a fancy new membership scarf, and of course the vote to help make what we've created your own. If you're already a member, you can refer a friend. It gives them $10 off of their membership and grabs yourself a sweet discount on merchandise while you're at it. Those credits do stack, so offer it to your whole village. Do you like helping people? Well, we do. But helping people sometimes comes at a cost, and we need your support. If you're looking to align yourself with a fine group that loves to give back, you are in luck. Minneapolis City is a 501c3 that does good on and off the pitch by providing those less fortunate to have a safe, reliable place to play the beautiful game. It is tax season. Don't forget. So start thinking about those deductible donations and consider giving back to the club that loves to give back. Wow, that was terrible. We're out on the town and we need you to be there. How much do you know about soccer? We have a soccer themed trivia session starting at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night at the local in downtown Minneapolis to find out for sure. Great Minneapolis City prize packs for the winners and fun for all. If that's not all, members can pick up their member packs and ordered merchandise scheduled via the will call. If you want to get a hold of us, we've made it super easy. Only a few of you do, so make that more. Let's make that our New Year resolution. Contact us more. Send us a note on Twitter at The People's Pitch or through email at mcscpodcast@gmail.com. All questions, comments, and concerns are welcome. And finally, as always, you can hit up the club, complain to Dan and Sarah about stupid stuff we've said or done at MPLS City SC. That is all for tonight's show and for this week. Once again, thank you, Kevin, for being on with us. We leave you with our house MC. This is the one, the only current Minneapolis City player, Miles Stockman Willis, who goes by the name Melays with a track called No Heart. I am John. That is Nate. That has been Kevin, and you are the people. Until next time, soccer is a gift. Hold it close to your hearts. And you got hoofed again.
Mason just fucked your bitch.
215's one big enclosure. How I get my closure. Become a composer. I don't need exposure, but I need a mower. Always off the ogre. Shrek with extra odor. About the bullshit. I'm a bulldozer. Say it straight face. No, I ain't playing poker. Me, myself, and I was born a loner. Never had a heart. I'm no ordinary organ donor. Money magnet, man, I'm about to bag these maggots. Mainly from the brainy magic. Causing racket with no ratchet. I don't talk much, all about the action. Fuck my parents' house, trapping. Trying to make the Hamptons happen. Get an A on the report like Voldemort. Deporting bodies, you were hot, now you're not. Cool, guess you were wasabi. Blasting off like a rocket. Hourly like it's a hobby. Win the league like Taco, all you hear is Bravo. Call me Johnny, I'm a bachelor. Never been to Tommy Johnny, flow far from your average Joe. So my bitch is bad as Bonnie. Took a tab and dent my mind, retinals colorized, seeing crystal clear, crystallized fears near my spine's rear, staying clear of what's not myself, mesmerizing mirrors, humbling, niggas mumbling, they need to hit a deer, their position's clear, mine resides in all Poseidon's peers, my career's guided, driven by some gilded gears, cheers. 215's one big enclosure, how I get my closure, become a composer, I don't need exposure, but I need a mower, always off the ogre, Shrek with extra odor, about the bullshit, I'm a bulldozer, say it straight face, no I ain't playing poker, me, myself, and I was born a loner, never had a heart, I'm no ordinary organ donor, rocking the golden fleece, so don't try me, asking God why me, 3 times wearing Y3s, 3 minutes, 3 dots, he's replying, he said these rappers need to start dying. Boy, I gave you the gift to bust off. Dapper young boss, tough soft toss. So knock that rust off. Remember hard bars by far on the bus stop. Now hider or lost stealer, you can't make this bus stop. Depressed in my hut, I admit in a rut. Still living good on the edge like brownie crust. Trying to make a claim to fame. When you make that claim, it's sus. I'm a game changer, on a game breaker, give it up. Are you impressed or so? At peace, never stressed at home. Motto is progress or go. Heart cold as a Eskimo. Damn, these niggas desperate. I'm a hero like Despero. Bully-proof and fully grown. Gooned up eating escargot. Writing like I'm Edgar Poe. Got the process of a pro. Show you how to flex a flow. Records ready, set in stone. Think confetti should be thrown. Riding through black rims. Big blunt like a blimp. Balling hard, get a glimpse. Well-mannered, natured pimp. So I touch her fish koi. Tell that bitch quick. Throw her D's on this rich boy. Make her turn around cause she know that I got the voice. Don't wanna hear you speak less 10 G's on the invoice. 215's one big enclosure. How I get my closure. Become a composer. I don't need exposure, but I need a mower. Always off the ogre. Shrek with extra odor. About the bullshit. I'm a bulldozer, say it straight face, no I ain't playing poker. Me, myself, and I was born a loner, never had a heart, I'm no ordinary organ donor.